Hey YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna do something kind of simple, but there's a few videos out there, but I haven't seen one done in a while. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the EGR removal off of a truck that's already been deleted. Not deleted, I guess you could say tuned with an exhaust. So got a buddy, Chance, he's coming over. I think he's got, I forget the year, but it's a 4th gen, but he's gonna come over. We're gonna remove all the stuff off the top of the motor, clean it up with some block off plates and things like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, so stay tuned and we'll get it knocked out. Guys, sorry for the wind noise, but Chance just showed up. Here's his Ram 2500. Nice, I think it's just sitting stock height. Looks very clean, love the color. We're starting to knock out the EGR delete. And if you look up here, pretty much the only things we've done is remove the intake so far and then the engine cover. Next thing we're gonna do is be removing the EGR, I guess, valve itself. Unplug all the connectors, get this crossover tube, and then slowly start taking this thing apart over here, the EGR cooler. We're gonna let it, we're doing everything we can without breaking into the system, so we don't have to mess with the coolant just yet, because he just did drive over here. So letting that cool down as long as possible before we crack into that and go from there. All right guys, a little update. We got the EGR valve off. Trying to remove this tubing right now. There's an 8mm bolt that's under here that holds this clip on. This tube will come out and then we'll start tackling that side. So I'm about to go clean this up, scrape all the old gasket off, and then put the blocker plate back on and be done with that side. We still gotta do the throttle valve, but we'll get there in a second. All right guys, we're making progress. Still haven't put the cover on the EGR or the intake horn yet, but we're trying to get those back 15mm bolts that are all the way in the back that hold the EGR cooler to the manifold. So we got a lot of the miscellaneous equipment removed from the front. Chance is still reaching back there trying to grab it. We're to the step now where we actually have to break into the radiator coolant, actually break open the system so we can remove the EGR cooler. But if you look over here, here's a lot of our parts that we had removed. Here's the control valve for the EGR itself. There's the flapper valve that goes on top of the intake. But so far so good, making progress. All right, so we got the block off plates in. We're removing the plate that actually holds the EGR cooler itself. Got the back plate in as well. We reused the 15mm nuts that go on it. I'm finally gonna get over here and clean this up with a vacuum and a razor blade, then stick the block off plate on there. Then we're gonna work on the throttle valve, put all of our new hosing back on. It should be done. All right, little update. I got the intake horn cover on. Still haven't messed with the throttle valve yet. We're having problems with the bracket getting that lined up to where exactly it needs to go. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. All right, Chance and I were getting our asses kicked, or excuse the language, sorry. Getting our butts kicked with trying to get this bracket where we're figuring out where it goes, but we determined that you're supposed to pull that bolt out. Where's that piece that goes in this place? Up there, see that? This piece right here replaces the manifold bolt, and this screws into the block. You tighten this down, and then the bracket itself, bear with me guys, the bracket itself bolts into it like this, and it stabilizes the back end of this bracket. Your coolant pipe goes here, your transmission dipstick goes here, and that should pretty much take care of that. All right, about wrapping everything up on this end. He's trying to get that clamp, that band clamp around that fitting coming out of the motor, the heater core return. Well, that's not even a heater core return, that's just the coolant riser that goes into the block. Wrapping that up, we'll tighten all the bolts on this bracket, and this side will be done. So that bracket can be a pain in the butt sometimes, just trying to line it up and do everything. And what we did was just put everything in there loosely. And I think we'll start from the transmission dipstick and then work our way forward, tightening up everything. So also doing the CCV delete pipe, not the actual ventilation filter. We're not going to gut that. We're just doing the pipe here, and we're going to put a cover on the intake tube down by the turbo. All right, so everything's wrapped up. You guys can see we got everything tightened on this side. Everything looks good. We got our exhaust back pressure installed. We had to take it out to maneuver that bracket, but we got everything squared away on that aspect. We got everything tightened down. We're gonna go to the Napa or somewhere and try to find a boot, a female end to go over the boot end that goes into the intake down here for your CCV. So we're gonna go find that. Decided not to go with install the throttle valve. It's just, to me, more than anything, it's aesthetics. This throttle valve stays in the open position when you delete it. Just unplug it and you leave it. I had no problems with mine for the, you know, about 5,000 miles I had my truck just deleted. When you get a new intake horn, like a Pusher, a Banks, or whatever the case may be, it gets rid of all of this anyway, and it doesn't even matter. So, all right, I'm about to start her up for the first time. Do a little leak check. Sounds good, looks good. All right guys, that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. We got the EGR stuff all removed, the EGR cooler, the EGR valve, the piping that goes around there, everything else that goes with the EGR. So probably the quickest I've ever done it, probably got it done in about 2.5 hours. There's some tips and tricks to do it. I tried to tell you guys as much as I can in the video. One thing I don't know if I mentioned was pulling the EGR cooler out itself. Getting those back two bolts, those 15 millimeters off. Once you get those off, you have to raise the EGR cooler, push it towards the firewall to get it out of the front plug of the coolant riser there in the front, and then that comes out. Once that's out, everything else is pretty painless. So just getting that big portion out, you're gonna spill some coolant. It is what it is, just be careful with it. But once that's out, it's pretty much downhill from there. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. I wasn't able to do it on my truck before, you know, it was before I had my YouTube channel, but very simple, easy process. One other thing I wanted to let you guys know about was we are doing a live stream. It's gonna be myself, Everything Diesel, and Steve over at Beast Projects. We're gonna do a live stream on Everything Diesel's channel at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 5 p.m. my time local here in Oklahoma. We're gonna sit down, have a chat, discuss a few things, and you guys should head over there and join us. It's gonna be a good time, good experience, and the more participation we have from you guys, the funner it's gonna be, the longer it's gonna last. So once again, I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are awesome. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep commenting, and make sure you turn on the notification bell. Until the next time, we'll see you guys on the next upload. Take care.